83 other clinical posts, and doctor time is going to be cut. In total, 630 jobs are going to go in this hospital, and 100 beds are going to close.
I don't work in the hospital. I'm just against the cutting of the carers. I'm all for the patients, and I don't think the nurses have got time, especially with the cutting. You know, the patients often need feeding, so who's going to do it now with all these cuts? I think it's quite disgusting.
The jobs at the council have gone in large numbers, and now the London Hospital and Barts have announced their huge cuts that are being put on them by the Tory Liberal government, who promised before the election that the NHS was safe in their hands. We can only see the NHS being safe in their hands if what they meant being safe was safe, ready for privatisation and building nest eggs for the already very rich.
Whose NHS?
Our NHS!
Whose NHS?
Our NHS!
Whose hospital?
Our hospital!
Whose hospital?
Our hospital!
Whose hospital?
Our hospital!
I heard about the redundancies that are threatened, and it's important that people locally who use the hospital, which, you know, I do, and my family does, that we do something about it. You know, that we protest and we organise a campaign to beat these cuts that they're trying to put through.
And what impact do you think the cuts will have on ordinary people in Tower Hamlets?
Well, generally devastating. I mean, in terms of the council cuts, which are going to, you know, probably sack 500 people this year, slashing services, particularly for handicapped people, you know, disabled people. I mean, the street where I live, there's a disabled centre there. They're closing. You know, that is going to be a real blow to the community. And they're slashing all youth services, closing youth pubs, everything, apart from the health service, you know, which is a different thing. Which the government said they wouldn't touch that. But clearly that wasn't true. And they're now going to hammer it.
Now, as a civil servant, my job will be at risk come up in April, that I may not have, and my colleagues may not have our jobs, and government will make that announcement in April. But we in local council are being forced by the David Cameron's ideological cuts to suffer, make our communities suffer. And we have pledged, and the Mayor Lutfur Rahman has pledged to continue to fight and join the demonstration on 26th of March. Unitedly we will say no to the cuts, and we want to protect our frontline services. And we will do everything we can.
What do you think Labour councillors should do? Because they're saying that, well, you know, they've been all these cuts from central government, they're in a difficult position. What do you think they should do?
Personally, I suppose it is difficult, and you do, you know, it's easy to be flippant and throw off a slogan, and I try not to do that. All I can say is what I would do, and I could not put through those cuts. I could not live with myself, I couldn't live in my community, I couldn't know all the people that I know in this area who depend on those sorts of services. I could not be the person who sticks their hand up and effectively votes those cuts through.
They say cut back! We say fight back! Cut back! Fight back! Cut back! Fight back!
We've got to keep together, we've got to do something about these disgusting cuts and this horrible government. And we've particularly got to make the 26th of March the very biggest protest to kick the bastards out.